Good evening to all. On behalf of Eventell, I take this opportunity to welcome everyone and thanks all for joining us today for this webinar on turmeric seasonal outlook for the season 2024. We are excited to have all the participants here on the Zoom. We have a diversified range of participants ranging from people from Spice Board, from horticulture research institutions, from trading community as well as processors. So Mr. Naveen, who is a commodity analyst, who has a background from agriculture statistics and he holds a gold medal, will be taking the lead in explaining. Hello. Will be explaining about the seasonal outlook for the crop 2024. We are confident that the webinar would be an opportunity for us to learn from each other and grow together. So I'm handing over the session to Mr. Naveen to navigate from here.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. I would like to extend my gratitude to everyone who has joined us today. So with that, let's start our presentation of today's topic, turmeric seasonal report. Yeah, we are going to start our report, turmeric seasonal report 2024. So let's start with the turmeric production, which are the major countries. About total, India accounts for about 80% of the total production and 84% of the global trade. That is major export will happen from India. India is the key market for the global turmeric. So if you see in breakdown, India accounts for 80% of the global production, followed by China, Myanmar, Indonesia, Bangladesh, Vietnam, Nigeria, and some other countries. But all together will account for only 20%. The major producer is India, accounting for 80%. So let us look some of the factors which influence the prices this time. So first of all, area. Due to the not price happy with the last season, most of the farmers converted to other crops. So area has decreased this time. That has impacted the on price, which is going up, which we are seeing in the market today. So in terms of production, due to the delayed onset of monsoon, not favorable condition for the turmeric, the price production has been decreased. So the prices went up. And talking about the carry forward stock, since 3 to 4 years, so new market players have came in the market. So they are using for the oleoresins, they are using for the powder, they are using for the oil industry. So demand has increased in the recent time. That has led to decrease in the overall, that has increased the demand and lead to the less in the carry forward stock. Even in buying intent is good this time because most of the pipeline is empty. So traders, buyers, exporters are showing their intent to buy that turmeric when it is coming to the market from the farmers. But arrival pressure we have not seen yet because this time the sowing has delayed. That is reflecting. So the arrival pace is still low. Once the arrivals pick up, that time we may see some correction in the price. That prices may come down a little bit from the current levels, which are at peak now. Even talking about the quality material, the limited quality material is coming to the market. That is mostly bought by the exporters and the other major industries. And talking about stock to use ratio, if we see this time's supply and demand, it is very less. That is about 3% of the stock to ratio will be remaining for the next season. And about the export demand was in the last 6 months due to higher prices. The demand went down from up to July only. 70% of the export has happened. After that, only 25 to 30% of the export has been done from July to December. Even in January, only 6,000 metric tons has been exported as compared to the 8,500 metric tons in the previous year, that is Jan 2023. So why the sowing was less this time? Majorly, the monsoon has delayed by 15-20 days. These are the major growing areas, namely Hingoli and Sangli, Nizamabad road. These are the traditional cultivating area. Now Hingoli Marathwada region accounts about 30 to 40% of the total turmeric production. There, during the last 20 to 23 season, monsoon was not that much favorable. So water reservoirs were less. So farmers were not getting sufficient water for the turmeric. Turmeric is such a crop that requires irrigation in every stages of its growth. That is like rhizome expansion, flowering, every stage it requires water. But this time, due to delayed monsoon and scattered monsoon, the dry spells were more. That has resulted in the overall yield of the turmeric. So that we have seen this time. So if we consider the state-wise first crop estimates, so Maharashtra is less. Maharashtra, we have seen a 5% decrease in the area. That is according to the government sources which we have contacted the horticulture departments. According to them, 5% less in the area. But trader estimate is much more than this one. They are expecting around 15 to 20% reduction in the area. In Telangana, the areas have been gradually decreasing. Telangana used to be the largest producer of turmeric, but in recent years, Maharashtra has overtaken the Telangana. And in major producing area in Telangana is Nizamabad, which we have seen the flood-like situation in the cropping season. First of all, the flood-like situation for turmeric is very dangerous. That will lead to the rhizome rot or some fungal infection in the soil. So during sowing season, the flood-like situation has happened. That has led to the reduction in the overall yield, and farmers went for the other productive crops. In Andhra Pradesh also, area has been decreased, and Telangana is the higher productivity state. In Karnataka also, Karnataka there is an increase of 4% according to the first estimate, but the traders are expecting less area as compared to last year. But the overall yield is less in Karnataka as well as Tamil Nadu. According to the first advance estimates in the 5 major states, it is around 9% decrease as compared to the last year. So turmeric, we talk about the supply side. Turmeric import has also been decreased in the recent years. In last year, we can see only 13,000 has been imported. That is because our Indian turmeric was available at around 60 to 65 rupees range as compared to higher prices in the outer market. So most of the traders, what they have done is they procure the turmeric from the Indian market. So that has led to decrease in the import from the other countries. So that's the reason we can see in 2023 this it went down. So the major turmeric suppliers to India are Indonesia, Vietnam, Myanmar, and Ethiopia. Indonesia is supplying around 5 to 6,000 constantly over the last 7-8 years. But Vietnam has emerged from 800 metric tons in 2016. They have sent almost 15,000 in 2018. From that, it has decreased now around 3,000 metric tons they are exporting to India. And other two major origins are Myanmar and Ethiopia, from which India will import the turmeric. So you can see the turmeric prices, which were very high in 2016-17. So the import was very less. But once the price fell down during 2018-19, the imports were increased. But after that, from 2020, actually Indian prices have fell down. So most of them not went for the import. So they have procured from the local market. So we are looking for the demand supply. This year, everyone is bullish on turmeric because the closing stock was going gradually decreasing from year after year. So people are not usually give preference to the closing stock. They were just on the demand and supply side. But we have seen that recently 15 to 20 oleoresin industry have opened in Kerala and 10 more in other parts of the India. So oleoresin requires high turmeric for the extraction of the oleoresin. It is said that like around for 3.5 kgs of oleoresin, you would be requiring 45.5 kgs of fresh turmeric. That means it requires 1:11 ratio. So they need a huge demand. Even so, if you see the opening stock, this year it has been lowest in the last 5 years. Only 94,000 metric tons were available for this season. And along with production, from last season, we are expecting around 15 to 20% less in the overall production. But traders' estimates are much more than this one also. And overall government estimates is different. But as of now, we have collected major producers. So from that, we have arrived at the overall production would be around 440 to 450,000 metric tons. So the total supply will be 534 metric tons during this season. So due to the higher price and the supply tightness, farmers will retain their turmeric for the next season. because there is no supply at all, and they are getting the double prices what they got last year. So the farmers will be interested to go on the turmeric, and that will again depend upon the monsoon, when the monsoon arrives and how the initial rains will be. So domestic consumption would be, I think it will be remain same. If the seeing current higher prices, it may decrease 5 to 10% due to the elevated prices, but overall consumption is going to be stable over the years. So coming to the export, this is one major thing. So after COVID, the export has rapidly grown. So from around 30,000 in 2014, 10 years back, now it is almost around 1,75,000 metric tons. So the export have increased at a CAGR of 13%. That is very good number to know. But the overall stock is reducing in Indian market. So there will be total demand would be 516,000 metric tons. So the closing stock is the number which is going to bullish for everyone. So due to this lower in the closing stock, everyone is going bullish on turmeric and procuring whatever the market is coming into the market. So let's have a glance at the turmeric. As I explained, reduced area in the turmeric, that is 9% reduced in the area sown overall, and delayed monsoons, less storage in reservoirs. Turmeric requires frequent irrigation, so less storage in reservoirs have led to the yield reduction. Farmer price realization. So this, just look at this table. So last 5 years, the average price is almost around in the 65 to 70 range. That is in Erode, Nizamabad and Sangli, the price range was in 70 rupees, 69 and 72 Indian rupees per kg. But see the last year in 2023, the main arrival season will be from February to May. In that season, the arrival prices were around 63 to 65 rupees per kg. That has led the farmers to not incur their production cost also. So that led the farmers to sell off their mother rhizome also, which would they retain for the production. That led to the decrease in area and production this time. And the decreasing stock to ratio. You can see in the graph that the stock to ratio has been gradually decreasing from 2018. Before that, it used to be around 30 to 35%. But from COVID year 2020, export has increased, domestic consumption has increased due to pharmaceutical users and other culinary users. The turmeric consumption has been increased. So the stock to use ratio has been decreased from 2020 to 24. So delayed arrivals. So due to the late sowing and delayed monsoon, the arrivals are late in the market. That has led to increase in the prices. If we see the three major markets, namely Sangli, Erode and Nizamabad. In Sangli, from first 2 months, January, February, only 1,10,000 bags have came, compared to 1,50,000 bags in the previous year. Also in Erode, only 79,000 bags have came, and Nizamabad only 46,000 bags have came. But presently, Nizamabad is getting good arrivals, around 15 to 16,000 bags are coming on a daily basis. According to some sources, there have been 15.2 thousand metric tons arrival in the February 2024 all over the India, as compared to 35.15 thousand metric tons in 2023. So in March till 13th, we have received 9.05 thousand metric tons of turmeric oil in major markets, as compared to 18.37 metric tons in the previous year. So lower export demand. Lower export demand you can see in the upcoming graphs. So this is last 5 years price realization of the two major markets like Erode and Nizamabad. So the maximum price in the previous years were around 60 to 90 rupees only. But in 2023, the prices have shot up in the later part of the year and went to 150 rupees per Indian kg. You can see the minimum price 60. That was during the arrival season. Most of the arrival season have saw the price range in between 50 to 65 only. So, but the prices have increased only in the later part of the year. So the farmer didn't get the profit of this. Hence, he has not gone for the turmeric cultivation last time, leading to the decrease in the area. So this is a graph of Nizamabad finger turmeric prices. You can see sudden rise in the August when the monsoon failures news came and the reduction in the sowing area news came, that time the prices have shot up suddenly. From them and the delayed rainfall in the September and October kept the prices low due to the favorable weather condition of turmeric. But as soon as the total demand and supply we have seen, there is a shortage. So again, the prices are going up, and presently they are at all-time high prices. Now coming to the export destination. These are the major export destination in which Bangladesh alone accounts for the 20% of the import from India. So usually Bangladesh accounts imports the lower quality turmeric as compared to others. You can see USA also. USA mostly imports powder turmeric, and recent problem crisis in Red Sea that will lead to the importing demand. Morocco is one of the major importer that used to import around 10 to 15,000 metric tons. That demand will be less this time in Morocco, European Union. There will be problem in the sea route. So we'll see the how the demand comes from these countries, even in the extra duration for the transportation. So I was mentioning about the oleoresin market. Recently, 15-20 new industry are set up in Kerala. So in 2014, there was only about 600 metric tons of oleoresin export from India. But during 18-19, some of the industries have opened up, and that led to the export of more oleoresin from India. That is, it is peaked in 2021, 2550 metric tons. India has exported the oleoresin. So in last 2 years, it is around the similar range, 1985 to 1956. The overall growth rate, compound annual growth rate is 13% for the turmeric oleoresin. That is a great number. We'll see how the turmeric oleoresin export will be in the coming years, because this time market is at high price. How the oleoresin industry will import the turmeric in the season with the elevated price. And nowadays, so downstreaming products are more. Like pharmaceuticals are using aroma turmeric, and other cosmetics also, some of them are using turmeric curcumin. So those all things are affecting the demand side. This is the demand export price of the oleoresin. It is around 45,000 presently, but peaked in 2017 where it was around 65,000 metric tons. So let's have a look about the turmeric export of dry and powder. See, in 2013, 10 years before, the export was only around 37,000 metric tons. But as we see in the COVID years 2020, the demand has suddenly surged up, and it was 1,17,000 in 2020. And presently it is at 1,07,000. So in last time, India has exported 1,07,000, out of which 70% has been exported in the first 6 months when the prices were low. So remaining 30% exported in the last 6 months. Even if you see in the turmeric powder market, it was around only 26,000 metric tons in 2013. That has escalated to 53,000, which will give a compound annual growth rate of 7%. That means if for 1 kg of turmeric powder, it usually requires 2.5 to 3 kgs of powder, dry turmeric. So the turmeric consumption is more for making the powder. So the demand will increase in the year also. So this is the turmeric export price. You can see in the last 2 years, like 20 to 22, the price range in the similar range of 1,200 to 950. But in August, when the monsoon has failed and the reports of lower sowing, the turmeric export prices have suddenly surged up and reached up to 1,700 USD per metric ton for the dry turmeric. And presently the export price is around 1,500 to 1,600, which leading the demand to decrease from the other countries. So, but the turmeric consumption has increased from the 2020 after COVID. So we have to look after how the demand will be in the coming months at the elevated prices. See the dry turmeric month-wise distribution. Here, everyone can see that it is uniformly distributed in the first 6 months and last 6 months also. Similar quantity will be exported, like 50%, 55 to 60% in the first 6 months, and another 40 to 45% in the next 6 months. But last time what happened is due to lower prices, 70% is imported in the first 6 months. That you can see here the growth in the month wise. And in last 6 months, there has been very little export from the India. So that is around 30,000 metric tons. So we see the export price seasonality. So in last five years, the average price was around 1,200 to 1,000. But in the last season, 22 season, the prices have export prices have gradually decreased and reached up to 980 USD per metric ton. But again in 2023, the prices have escalated. So the major importing countries from India are Bangladesh, UAE, Morocco, USA, and Malaysia and Iran. Bangladesh emerged as the major importer of during COVID. So most of the trade went to Bangladesh only. Bangladesh used to import 15 to 20,000 tons before COVID, but in during the COVID year, it has imported around 53,000 metric tons, which is a sudden huge number. So after that, it has peaked and it is importing around 30 to 35,000 metric ton per year. And if you see the Middle East, there are four countries accounting for the 25% of the total import. That is UAE, Saudi Arabia, Iran, and some other countries. So the Middle East countries used to 25% of the import total exported from India. So you will see how the demand will be from those countries. Okay, these so if we have to see from the Morocco how the demand will be this side, because that Red Sea crisis is going to happen. That will take to 20 more days to reach the logistic to reach Morocco from India. And Morocco used to import around 1,200 to 1,300 USD per metric ton, but presently it is going around 1,500 to 1,600. So demand has to be seen from other countries. USA is mostly that imports powder turmeric. It has not seen any sudden jump in the importing price, because the powder is has been the before orders has been growing to the USA. But in this season, the prices of the powder is going to affect to the exporting prices also. That time, how the demand will be for the powder, we have to be seen. So other two major importers are Malaysia and Iran. So what should be the accumulation strategy this time? So it is very difficult to predict this time. But for the short term, like for the coming 1 month or 15 days or the present 1 month, we have to accumulate around 10 to 15%, which are hand to mouth. We don't know whether the price will suddenly go up due to the supply stock or due to the arrival pressure, it may come down. We don't know. But for the safer side, for the nearby requirement, we have to buy 10 to 15%. That is hand to mouth. What is the market sentiment? That we have to buy around 10 to 15%. And for medium term, like March, April, May up to June, so due to delayed sowing, the arrivals are late. So people are thinking that is less arrival, but the arrival season has been delayed by 15-20 days. So the arrival may pick up in the coming March 2nd week to March 4th week. So that time the prices may, when the demand will also be less, that time prices may correct. So price again may come back to the 150, 140 levels. Presently, it is good quality is trading at 170 levels. So even the traders are not going for the complete accumulation during the season. Even traders are trying to accumulate around 30 to 40% this season in the season because of the higher prices. If the monsoon next year monsoon is good and timely rainfall is received, then the farmers mindset will be going for aggressive sowing, because they will be seeing the higher prices in the market and they will try to increase their area due to supply tightness. So that is the best time to accumulate the stocks. And after the monsoon, the sowing season once comes out, that time prices may stabilize, or if the monsoons are not good, the prices may go up again, or if the monsoon was on time or the arrivals are good, so the prices may come down. That time your remaining quantity can be bought at staggerly, not at one time. So again in the during November, September, October, November, the festival season will be there. That time again demand will increase. But if the sowing is good, then the prices may come down. Or if the sowing monsoon is not good, again prices will go up as the supply tightness is there. So there is a overall snapshot around 15% decrease in the production, that is 4.4 lakh tons compared to last year 5.2 lakh tons. Total supply would be around 5.34 lakh tons. Stock to use ratio will be reduced to 3.5% as compared to 17% last season. As of now, prices minimum may come to 130 rupees. Maximum it go up to 20 rupees as of our prediction, but it may go beyond that one also, seeing the present arrivals and other things. Our predicted average price range is about 145 to 155 rupees per kg. One more thing we have to see here is at what prices during the season the traders will accumulate the stocks. If they accumulate the stocks around 140 to 150 levels, that will become weighted average. It becomes 140 to 150 levels. In the upcoming months, they will sell their produce from 150 levels plus their storage fees plus the cost of finance. So if they are on an average, if they buy around 150 rupees plus 1 to 1.5 rupees, they will add on every month on their storage fee and the cost of finance. So that may also not tend to prices to come down again. So domestic consumption may remain similar to last year because of the oleo resin market has grown up, turmeric powder market has grown up. Coming to the export demand, the overall export demand tends to be lower at elevated prices this year. If the prices come down little bit, the demand may increase, and we can see the export pacing up in the coming months. So, thank you, everyone.
Thank you all. I just wanted to wind up what Mr. Naveen has said. So actually, we have turmeric price when we compare to year-on-year basis, the price have increased by around 80%. The factors which have driven this price is because fundamentally the market is speculating of around 20% decline in production. This production decline has been on various factors. First one is the delayed sowing, then erratic monsoons, and then yield decline in most of the producing areas. And one more important point is that farmers have shifted from this Pradipa variety to new varieties which have longer sowing period from 8 to 9 months. So if you go for state-wise decline, we say that Maharashtra has declined by 30%, Telangana, Andhra by around 18 to 22%, and Tamil Nadu by 10 to 15%. So we have already seen that new arrivals have started from Tamil Nadu and other states. And all these new arrivals have higher moisture content. And by the time new arrivals come and to get it dried and get a good quality export, it have 2 months. So market is facing the shortage in dry turmeric availability as of now. So this one, and apart from that, the futures markets have fueled up and it has gone up to 185. I mean, it's nearing 190 levels because there is a shortage of delivery in futures positions also. And huge long buildups have happened in the exchanges, anticipating shortage in the material. So, and whole stock accumulation has also been depleted. So these all factors are contributing to the rally in the turmeric prices. And we expect the markets to correct a little when we move towards April, when farmers will bring more of the material. But what is surprised to see is that there has been significant decline in market arrivals, fresh turmeric arrivals in across the APMCs in Erode, Nizam, and Maharashtra. So this indicates that farmers are holding back their stocks, anticipating the price would be moving up. So the extent of farmer holding will put up, will fuel up the prices to move up more. So we'll see a dip in the month of April and May, and from there we anticipate the prices to stabilize and move forward from there. On the lower side, markets are anticipating the prices to be stable at around 135 to 140 levels, and from there, as we move towards August or September, prices will move up. The two important factors which we must notice that how the weather patterns unfold during the months of May and June. So already the reservoirs in Maharashtra, reservoirs in Telangana, reservoirs in Karnataka, except for Tamil Nadu, are going dry. So this will put a pressure on the irrigation systems in the turmeric growing areas, because normally turmeric farmers don't depend upon one form of irrigation. They depend on rainfall, they depend on bore water, they depend on canal irrigation. So now with canal irrigation being a doubt of source of water, and even borewell drying, bores are being dried up in most of the cultivation regions, we have to see how the pre-monsoon showers unfold across these regions. If any delay in monsoon setting in southwest monsoon setting in across Arabian Sea, we would see prices to move again from here, and we can expect such volatility as we expect in cumin to come in the days, in the months ahead, if the monsoons gets delayed and any abnormal weather conditions are observed. So on the export front, what we can expect is that we observe price sensitivity of the overseas market to turmeric consumption. So the higher the prices, the demand comes down. So at the current levels, the export buying would be limited, and the struggling by the exporters to wrap up all the materials for export quality would cool down. So exporters won't be in a hurry to purchase as much of material. This would give some supply comfort to the domestic markets in terms of export quality material. So after April and May, we hope farmers to bring most of the produce encashing the higher prices, because compared to last year price realization for the farmers, this time price realization is significantly up by nearly 70 to 80 percentage. This higher price realization would force farmers to bring more material to the markets, because they would require funds and cash to go to meet their expenses for the next sowing season. So all these factors would put in play how the prices are going to move forward, but there's no possibility of prices dropping significantly as we saw last year. So prices would range between 135 to 140, to on the higher side, we can expect to 185 to 190, 175 to 180. If weathers doesn't favor and more speculation, prices might go up to 200, but that is unsustainable levels. Thank you, sir. Any doubt, please? Yes, sir. We had a question that are the current levels low because of lower yield or the farmers not selling? Yes, sir. Yield is not a constraint for the farmers, but the output itself, as yield is a matter because in certain areas, but the output itself has been declined. For example, if the farmers were getting 100 bags, this time they're getting 80 bags. So that is one reason. And second reason, people are seeing the markets trading at higher levels, and general tendency of the farmers to encash at higher levels. So the reduction in market, in the availability of the produce, and the higher prices is holding back the farmers from bringing the produce to the markets. Then the second question is, what is the replacement crop in turmeric production areas? So because it is not limited to one state. In Maharashtra, farmers go for maize as an alternate crop. In Tamil Nadu, people go for tapioca and sugarcane as an alternative, and banana as an alternative crop. In Maharashtra, they go for cane also. In same thing with Nizamabad. Nizamabad also they go for maize and oil seeds. It gets interchanged. And one more third question is, can we expect reduction in price in future months? So we can't expect too much reduction in the future months, because the forward contracts, the immediate contract, April contract is already started correcting from the price levels. So in this cash market, spot markets, we can anticipate 130 to 140. That is what the average price is, depending upon the varieties. So the NCD's quality material and the spot markets would be available around 135 to 140 levels. So we can't go with production. Are the government production numbers incorrect? No, sir. We just can't have a bias on the government production. The government production are more conservative basis. So we had spice board people, but we are not able to have them on board. So the realistic figures is what government estimates is around 10% and traders on higher level. So we have to validate once the arrivals comes because it's too premature to comment on which estimates is correct. So actually, state government production numbers. Actually, state government does not give any production numbers. They give only values. I mean, area under cultivation. Production numbers doesn't go. Spice boards comes with the data, but we have to cross check with Spice board because they go with all on wet basis. All traders estimates go on dry basis. Spice board and government estimates goes on wet basis, and traders estimates goes on dry basis. So it all depends upon the actual yields which is going to come forward. Yes, sir. How is the supply from Asmat and Basmat? So Basmat Nagar supply is good as of now, sir, because Hingoli, Assam has done a very pretty good job in terms of organic turmeric and and because climate also has been very favorable and soil condition very favorable, we expect good crop from Assam and Basmat Nagar this time, sir, compared to Nizamabad and Tamil Nadu and Telangana. So which much lower stock carryover? What can is the price towards? No, sir. 300 and 350 rupees is very exorbitant and we can't see that much of prices coming into the maximum the prices can be pushed to up to 200 and 210 levels is the maximum. And we can, because once the prices comes up, we can see lot of liquidation from the traders itself because the average buying prices of the traders would be around 140 to 150 rupees in this season, in the peak arrival season, 140 to 160. So even at 200 rupees, it gives them around a 30 to 40% escalation on return on investment and return on capital. I think traders would offload these stocks. And second one, if the monsoons are going to be favorable, then farmers should certainly increase their area under turmeric this time. So we see going to the prices, 3,300 rupees per quintal is not possible at this extent. So as I mentioned, the status of reservoirs, Telangana is already running into shortage and paddy farmers are struggling to find irrigation in Telangana as of latest updates. So going ahead, we have to go for peak summers. We have reservoirs have to feed for water requirement for drinking. So we see reservoirs draining out. If monsoon doesn't comes on time, canal irrigation is going to be a big question mark. So your question is right now, pipeline is empty and production is lower. Yes, we do advise people who are going to buy, accumulate during the peak arrival season because generally we see prices dropping in the months of April and May. Seasonality index shows that always prices drop during April, May, June and started moving up when we move towards August and September during Navaratri and up to Navaratri and Deepavali. That is a seasonal demand. So traders would start buying and stocking and keeping I mean the demand for the festival season. So April, May, June would be idle months for covering the materials. And after that, availability of material will be low and the price would be at higher levels. What is the export friendly level of Indian? See, and also union government has established a turmeric board in Nizamabad. So we have yet to materialize what the board is up to do, what is the action plans to boost the, I mean, whether they're going to boost, play a role as a facilitator, as an exporter of turmeric or facilitate the overall industry from perspective. So we have to see what role the National Turmeric Board is going to take it from here.
Yes, Kundan sir, you have raised your hand. You have any questions?
Hello? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's regarding stocking of turmeric from Nizamabad and Kadapa and other origins from Maharashtra.
Yes,
These all the traders who are buying from these origins and then mixing it with Basmat and Assam origin turmeric, which is usually on the lower side. So what do you expect? That people are again going to buy more quantity from Basmat and Assam origin and then mixing again with the Nizamabad and Kadapa and Maharashtra stocks. So what is going to be the as sir said, Basmat and Assam has a very good crop. So ultimately, does this go to decipher the prices of Nizamabad and Kadapa? What do you expect? Did you get my question?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So
So now, given See, now
Yeah.
what happened is that it's not only in, Basmat and Assam, even Erode where it is get mixed with Nizam,
Yeah.
traditionally Erode used to buy only Erode material, Nizam go for only Nizam like that. But now what happens is that Erode traders buy from Nizamabad, Nizam buys from Erode Bad, Sangli material comes to Erode. It's on the
Correct.
price arbitration which is available. Now, given the good crop in Basmat Nagar and Assam, so and the premium which they get also,
Yeah.
this traders will certainly go for mixing of the price to average out the procurement prices.
Correct. Because see, if you are targeting somewhere expecting the prices for Nizamabad to touch around 190 or
Yes,
185,
180,
people are
190.
yeah, people are definitely going to get Basmat and Assam origin and going to mix it and to
Surely it is
mitigate
going
the
to happen.
price
It is
rise.
going to happen. It is going to happen. It will
So
happen this
do you
season
think?
also.
So do you think this is going to control the prices for Nizamabad and erode
No,
qualities?
no, sir, because the availability itself is less now. And second thing is that oleosin industry, which was buying only Kasturi Manjal from Kerala,
Right.
now they moved to Erode and Nizamabad.
Correct. Correct.
So because the oleoresin exports have been increased tremendously, and
Hmm.
this new segment has been absorbing more of turmeric.
Correct.
Turmeric which goes for the edible, table purpose for masala and other purpose is being diverted to oleoresin, which the people have deep pockets and they able to procure as much of quantity because the value addition is more and the price realization is more for the oleoresin industry. The
Right.
pricing impact is not much on them compared to our normal masala people and table purpose people.
Correct.
So
So
we can't see, even if Basmat Nagar and Assam comes also, we can't see Nizam prices cooling so much. You can
So
have a
at the end
floor
of
of
the day,
around,
at the end of the day, by May or June, it is going to get stagnate around 160 level on the average.
no,
What do
so
you
you can
expect?
expect, see, once the arrival, we are anticipating prices to cool in April, May, once the NCDX contracts expires in April. Because that is fueling the market because of the deliveries. We know to what is the delivery is going to come into that or something. So
Right.
second one is that even April starts, we have to see the what is the phase of new arrivals into the market. If farmers are going to hold back, if
Correct.
if the forward, if the long month contract is going to trade at around 180 or 190,
Yes.
if farmers see that price signal, then farmers will surely hold back the material.
Correct. Yeah,
Because
because
today
Nizamabad is
NCDs,
trading around 190 these days. In
yes,
last week, it was around 190.
because now this next 3 days is going to be very critical. We will be seeing all the longs position unwinding in the exchanges
Right.
because as we are moving towards the March end, because April became a spot contract, the delivery window will open. So people who have gone long, they have to give delivery. So if delivery is marked, they have to get material from the market, which is already scarce.
All right.
So NCD's delivery material is not available as of now.
Correct.
Because new material with higher moisture content, it takes 1.5 months for drying, and you will get only May month good material. So there is scramble for NCD's delivery.
Right.
So people will start unwinding in the exchanges, so prices will start falling.
Right.
So by April, when contract expires, you will see price stabilizing at around 140, 150 to 160 levels.
So I should wait for this, right?
Yes, wait for the exchange contract to close. By the time new arrivals will start from other producing areas, also from Nizam, Erode will start picking up.
Right.
So it gives a clear indication of what the farmer's mindset is.
Right.
So, but you can't expect prices to fall below 120 levels this time and all, sir. I'm too conservative putting the price at 120 levels. I'm very, very conservative. If you're getting material at 120 rupees, you're the luckiest person in the world.
Right.
Yeah. Vijay
Thank
Parikh
you.
sir, you have asked.
Thank you,
Sir.
Thank you very much.
Vijay Parikh sir, you have asked about present turmeric price is already around 200, but you are saying that can reach 180. The 200 is for the high quality material, sir, which is containing high curcumin. So we have to see the average price. In Nizamabad, as of yesterday's market, the average bulk price is around 135 rupees and the average finger turmeric price is around 147 rupees. So we have to consider according to the grades and according to the varieties. So presently the average price is around 130 to 150 rupees in the Nizamabad market.
Yes, Mr. Bala, please. Yes, Mr. Bala, please. Yes.
Hello. Yes.
Sir, please.
I'm from Nigeria, and I've been listening to most of the conversations that have been going on.
Yes.
My interest is more on trading in most of these agro commodities.
Okay.
And coming from an African country, I would love to understand, perhaps the statistics, if you do have available, of the level of imports of such products into maybe, say, West Africa or Nigeria, for example, where I come from.
Okay.
This is just to prepare one's mind and to understand the competition one is likely to face.
So
I don't know whether
wanted-
you have. I want statistical figures of imports of turmeric and other Indian spices
into Nigeria. Into Nigeria. Okay, we can support you on that, sir. We can get you not an issue, please. We can help you on that.
Yes. That is just one of the things. And how easy is it for one to go into India and then export such products without hindrance? How easy?
So ease of doing business in India is very good.
Really?
So
Okay, then that's good. It's good to hear that. This is my second time participating in Eventell Zoom activities, and I'm a commodity dealer. Actually, I deal in any commodity that comes my way.
Okay, sir.
I do sesame seed, I do hibiscus flower, I do garlic, and other stuff.
How is
and ginger as well.
How is the turmeric crop in Nigeria, sir?
I don't know. I'm not quite sure whether we grow turmeric in Nigeria. I'm not quite sure.
Okay. So you are basically a consumer of turmeric.
No, I haven't even started trading in it. I joined this Zoom meeting just to learn more, so that I would be able to understand what it's all about. Unlike sesame seed, hibiscus flower, and ginger, I have a lot of experience. I've exported. Like I said, I'm an agro commodities dealer.
Okay, sir. Okay. Okay, so we'll support you. I'll share the details through your email ID. What
Yes,
the
thank you very
statistical
much.
data of the imports of spices into Nigeria from India. We'll be happy to share the details.
I will really appreciate that. You have my email address, do you? Or should I text it?
No, it's available with us, sir.
Okay then. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We had a question about what is the price differential between that is per kg you have 80 paise price difference is there. So actually current prices Nizam is trading at around finger is around 80 rupees.
Presently Nizamabad bulb is trading at 80 to 1. Around 80 to 156 for bulb in Nizamabad according to the quality, and finger is around 80 to 180 and the average price of 147. In Ingoli also it is quite more than the Nizamabad price due to its superiority of the turmeric compared to the Nizamabad turmeric, and it will go for the export. It is trading around 160 to 180 rupees at an average price of 170. There is not much 80 to 100 rupees difference is there. There is only 30 to 40 rupees difference is there based on the area on the superiority of the turmeric. Yeah, ma'am. Gayatri Rajkumar, you will share the presentation with you. Okay, about Sangli market.
So quality.
As the quality is not that bad, but the availability of the good quality material is low. We are not observed any disease or pest this season. the pest season has been not that any major issues in the disease. So quality coming is good, but the amount of the quantity available, quality material available is not that much. So average price is calculated based on the arrivals and the average price during those arrivals. So,
Sir, and you know what is the meaning of average price? What do you mean by average price?
okay. Thank you all for your attention. We are going to wind up this session now. Thank you all. So we are winding up the session. Thank you all for the attentive participation throughout this webinar and your engagement and your question and answers made this session great. So we'll be the session will be open for 10 or 15 minutes for the questions. We'll take the questions. So thank you one and all. The networking will be open for 10 more minutes. So you can ask your questions here. So, thank you. Wish you all the best, everyone.